Let me check if I am visible on the screen. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we are live. Um, Hello, good afternoon from London and good evening in Nepal. Uh, we are doing a live session with University of Chester, and I have the pleasure of having Ela Siddiqui from University of Chester. She is representing Nepal. So Ella, say hello to the audience.
Hi guys, hello from Chester. I'm working from home today, but hopefully, all the internet is going to be okay. It's not going to be too slow, and you will be able to see me throughout the session.
Good, good. Just to give an overview, we will cover various different aspects such as admissions processing, entry requirements, COVID-19 update, English language requirements, accommodation, location of Chester, and everything else. And the remaining part, yeah, post-study work visa. Yeah, that's the most important and the hot issue nowadays. Yeah, we'll cover majority of the things. Towards the end of the session, there will be question and answer session for the students, and they will be able to ask questions to um, Ella, and Ella will try to help with answers. So just to give you some idea about who we are, I am the director of BWBS Education Consultants, one of the largest university representative agency in the UK. Over the past 10 years, we've recruited over 1,000 students from across the world. We have partnerships with a wide range of UK universities, and one of them is University of Chester. We've been working with University of Chester for the last 5, 6 years, I guess. It's a
Yeah,
very
long
long term,
time.
yeah, it's a very long term relationship. Um, we have our branch offices across the world, especially in the South Asia. We have very strong presence. We are operational in India. In India, we have 3 offices, one in Haryana, one in Gujarat, and one in Hyderabad. And then we have our offices in Pakistan, in Lahore. We have 2 offices in Bangladesh, in Dhaka and Sylhet. We have an office in Nepal, in Bhaktapur, which is close to Kathmandu. And we also have an office in Sri Lanka, in Colombo 5. So this live event is for the Nepal market. So if during this event or after this event, anyone wishes to ask us any question, or anything they have in their mind, they can drop a comment or contact us. The details are there down below on the screen. You can see, so you can participate during the event. So I've talked a lot about our agency. Now Ella will introduce University of Chester and what they are offering, and take it on from there. So here you go, Ella.
Thank you so much, Bashir. So yes, as Bashir said, I'm representing the University of Chester. But as you can hear from my accent, I'm not British. So I am originally from Poland. But I have been living in the UK for the past 16 years, and I have been working at the University of Chester for the past 10 years. As an international student myself, I feel I feel all the excitement that you are going through by selecting the university, the country, what's the best option for you. So I hope that this presentation is going to be useful for you to see whether the University of Chester is one of the universities that you would like to consider and get to know a little bit more. In order to do that, I'm going to share my screen with you because I think it's much easier to understand the university when you can see the images. So I'm just going quickly to share my screen with you. Okay. Where is my presentation?
Okay, you take your time.
No,
You
no
have
problem. I think we are on, yeah?
yeah, yeah. Your screen is now showing. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So there are lots of universities in the UK, and I think it's very difficult for students to find a university that is right for them, because if you have to go over 130 different web pages, and different universities have different tuition fees, different deadlines, different application procedures. That's why we work with agents, and one of the agents, of course, is BWB, because it's a shortcut for you. You can actually tell the agent your budget, your expectations, and they will be able to actually find a university that is right for you. So the educational landscape in the UK looks different to the one that you have in Nepal. In Nepal, you have lots of private universities. In the UK, we only have a handful of private universities. Most of the universities are government funded, and University of Chester is, of course, a government funded university. We are quite an old institution. As you can see, we're established in 1839, and these are some of the images from our past. We started off as educational college, so we were the first institution in the UK to train teachers, and we had around 10 students. Today we have 15,000 students from 130 countries, and we offer over 300 degrees across 8 faculties. In terms of rankings, I know that this is one of the most frequently asked questions. We are medium ranked university according to newspaper rankings. But when you look at TEF ranking, which is UK government official assessment of quality of education, which was done for the first time in 2017, you can see that we got a silver status from the UK government, along universities such as University of Manchester or King's College London. So you can be reassured that the quality of education is of a very high standard when you come to Chester. On top of that, you can see that the Times Good University Guide also ranked as 24th in the UK and second in the region for quality of teaching. And when you take this into consideration, along with the competitive tuition fees and affordable cost of living in Chester, I think the package becomes very, very attractive to many students. I think we are mostly proud of student-led rankings, such as What Uni Student Choice Awards and Student Crowd. These are rankings where actually students vote for across a number of different categories. And as you can see, this year, University of Chester was voted second in the UK by international students, and top 20 in the UK by Student Crowd. So this gives us some kind of reassurance that when you come and study in the in Chester, you will have good quality of education, you will have lots of fun, and you will be very happy with your study experience. So where are we located?
Sorry to interrupt. So this second place, it's very recent, I guess, right? 2020. That's a very good achievement.
Yes, it's these rankings are done on annual basis. Mm-hmm. So as you can see, this is both of these rankings are 2020. When it comes to the official ranking by the government, they did it for the first time in 2017, and they will be doing it every few years. So we didn't have a later version of that TEF ranking. So yeah, I think this is quite good, and we are quite proud of our achievements.
Fantastic, yeah.
So in terms of location, I think most of the students associate UK with London, and I think Bashar, you are based in London, aren't you?
Yeah, we are based the head office is based in London. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I will be comparing Chester to London, and I think Chester is a much better place to live in, but we can argue about that later. I think there is so much more in the UK to see than London. University of Chester is located in the middle of the UK, so very convenient spot because it's very easy to travel to north or south. It only takes 2 hours to get to London by train, and we are located in between 5th and 6th largest city in the UK. So Liverpool and Manchester. Remember that UK is a developed country. So when I was in Nepal and we were talking about getting to another city from Kathmandu, we were talking about long travel time because the roads are not very good and you have to spend a lot of time, traveling from A to B. In the UK, we have very good transport system. So it doesn't matter that, London is few hundred kilometers away. It only takes 2 hours on the train to get there. So it's very easy at the weekends to see your family, to sightsee the UK. And one thing that people do not realize, that in the UK, we have so-called North and South divide. So south of the UK, this part, including London, of course, is the most expensive part in terms of the cost of living, with London being one of the most expensive cities in the world. If you have all the money in the world, then of course, you don't have to worry about this aspect. But when you are choosing your university, you have to look not only at the tuition fees, but you also have to look at the cost of living. And the cost of living is much more affordable up north. And on top of that, as you can see, Chester has been voted the second most friendly city in the country. Do not ask me which was the first one. I don't know. I just care about the fact that Chester is the second most friendly city. Yeah. So, one of the reasons why I have been living in Chester for the past 10 years is, of course, the city of Chester. For me, this is the main selling point because the city of Chester has won so many accolades over the years. 6th best city in the UK, one of the safest, best place to live in the UK, 5th prettiest city in Europe. If you have never been to the UK, think about Cambridge, think about Oxford, and we are that kind of city. So we are very old, traditional, cobbled streets, black and white buildings. In fact, you can see the high street here on this picture, and you can see that once you are in Chester, you know that you are in the UK because of the architecture. Chester is a tourist city. We attract over 8 million visitors every year in Chester. So we have lots of cafeterias, shops, restaurants. We have the best zoo in Europe. The largest designer shopping outlet is only 15 minutes away by bus from the city center. We have the oldest race course, the second most photographed clock in the world, Blue Planet Aquarium, and lots of different events throughout the summer. So it's a bustling city. Please do not be worried that you will be missing out on anything because you are not in London. Not everything is happening in London, and there will be plenty of things to do when you come to Chester.
Another thing I would like to add is, if someone wants to be in London for a specific time, it's not a big deal. Chester is not very far away from London, so still they can travel from London to Chester.
No, there are lots of people. I mean, sometimes when I travel to London, you can see lots of people with their briefcases who actually commute every day to London from Chester, and they come back. So it's very easy to go from A to B.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of the campuses, we have a number of sites. That's because, of course, the main campus, Pargate Road campus, was established nearly 200 years ago. And it's difficult to accommodate 15,000 students on just one site. So we started buying different sites in and around Chester. We invest heavily in our facilities. So as you can see, we spent over 140 million pounds, and actually 2 different rankings in 2020 put us in top 20 in terms of the amount of money that we spent on facilities. Again, I think one of the worries that people have in South Asia is that if you are not in a major city, if you are not studying at major university, then facilities in the second or third tier city will be, below what you can expect in London. This is again not true for the UK. We have as good facilities as they do in London, if not better. So this is the old town in Chester. Chester used to be a Roman fortress. So 2000 years ago, Roman soldiers built like a wall that you see in China. You can walk on that wall, and that wall surrounds the old town. This is where all the tourists come, and there's hardly any traffic. It's all for tourists. As you can see, our campuses are very close to the old town. The main campus is only 10 minutes walk. The business school is on the opposite side. Everything is within walking distance. So I live in Chester. I don't have a car. I have never had a car in Chester. I walk everywhere or I cycle. Transport is the second largest expenditure sometimes for people apart from accommodation. And I think, Bashar, you will know this from your own experience, that a lot of students do this false economy when they come to London. And for example, the university is in the central London, but they decide, okay, property in central London rent is too much, so I'll be staying in zone 9. And they have to commute between zone 9 and zone 1 on the tube, and then they have to pay £200 per month for transport on tube, because it's impossible to go from A to B in London just on your foot.
Yeah, it's just a big city. So staying somewhere in central London or around central London, that's very expensive. So that's why students prefer to stay outside the central zone. And even if they stay outside the central zone, they're still facing problems because the travel cost is so high. So they end up spending money anyway. So
yeah.
So for a city like Chester, that's not a worry at all, because they don't have that much living cost and transport cost as well. Yeah.
We have, as I've mentioned, a number of campuses. We have some campuses in Warrington, in Thornton, and in Shrewsbury. But I would say that 90% of our courses are delivered on our Chester campuses. This is our main campus. And if you decided to stay on that campus for the whole year and not to leave it for a minute, that's okay, because we have everything on this campus that you may need in order to survive for a year. We have a bank, we have a grocery shop, we have accommodation, we have sport facilities, careers and employability, student unions, student bars, swimming pools, squash courts, just generally everything you can find on the main campus. And it doesn't matter which campus you study at, you can still stay on the main campus and just walk to the other campuses, or you can use the library in another campus. So you can use facilities across all of our campuses, no matter which campus you study at. But I will not be talking about it maybe too much. Instead of that, I'm going to play this very, very short video so that you can see with your own eyes that we have good facilities for you when you come to Chester.
Good. Okay.
Hi, I'm Eleanor, and I'm here to show you around the Parkgate Road campus today. We've got everything you need all in one place. Let's go take a look.
Wow, wow. That's a colorful and a very good video covering majority of the things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, it's so difficult sometimes to make a decision just based on the prospectus. Luckily, the technology has moved on so much in the past few years that every university is going to have a YouTube page, a Vimeo page. At our YouTube page, oh, I'm so sorry, my laptop is dying. Can you give me a second? I have to actually charge it. I'm so sorry for this.
It's okay.
Oh, Ella. Such a rookie mistake.
It's okay. Some people can take a little break.
No, it's okay. I'm back. It's not so bad. I was panicking for a second that I will not be able to find my charger, but whew, it was not far away. Okay, so yeah, so YouTube, on our YouTube channel, I think you will find hundreds of videos related to university, to courses where program leader talk about courses, where you can see student life. So I always encourage students to have a look at more information on the website, on Google, on YouTube about the university. So this is our business school, and I think we moved out the entire business faculty around 5 years ago from the main campus. And this site used to belong to Lloyd's Banking Group. This is like the poshest, I think, campus that we have. As you can see, very nice facilities and very close to the old town. This is our Kingsway campus. Again, just to show you that we have really good facilities on offer. This is our Science and Engineering campus. It used to belong to Shell Oil Company, and they donated the whole site with equipment, with buildings to the University of Chester. This is our Warrington campus. Health, nursing, and education, Riverside, sport facilities. As I have mentioned, and as you have seen already on the video, we have swimming pool, we have tennis courts, squash courts, we have football pitches, rugby pitches, indoor, outdoor. So whatever sport you play, you probably can do it at the University of Chester, and it's available to all students, no matter which campus you study at. Accommodation, we have around 40 different halls of residence. You can stay in small.
Sorry, just to interrupt. So how many? Sorry, how many campuses does Chester have altogether?
Oh well, in Chester we have the main campus, Pargate Road. We have Kingsway campus, which is arts and media. We have Queen's Park campus, which is business school, Riverside, which is health and education. We have Thornton, which is engineering, Warrington, which is mix of different courses, but very close to Manchester. We have Shrewsbury Centre, and we also have some teaching sites in the rural. So I would say 7, but maybe 7+. It depends how you count it.
So yeah, in regards to if you want to compare, there are some universities based in London which are very small in size, which a lot of students don't realize until they come here. So if you compare Chester with London-based universities, you're going to get a much bigger experience if you go to Chester, because they have 7 campuses. Ela is saying it's a very big university with good multicultural environment and big campus environment. It's not like London, where you study in a small building, a university with satellite campus. So it's a proper university experience if you study at Chester. progress. Yeah.
And I think that's something very important that you have just said, that not all of the universities will offer you a campus experience. Some of the universities don't have a campus. They just have a number of buildings scattered around the town, and you don't get that study, community experience. In Chester, the main campus is actually, surrounded by a wall. There are 2 entrances. It's like a mini city within the city. So it's a very nice and close-knit community as well. I know most of my students that come to Chester. With some of them, I play badminton. With some of them, I go for coffee. We bump into each other in the city. Some of them I don't see for the whole year until they actually leave. But yeah, it's much easier, I think, to get that community feel in Chester than in London. That's for sure.
Good.
Okay, accommodation. Yeah, we have lots of different halls of residences, and the cheapest accommodation is £79 per week. For £79 per week, you get room to yourself, but you will have to share bathroom and kitchen with other students. It does not cover food. Food is on top of that, but electricity, water, gas, Wi-Fi is included in that price. So you don't have to stay at the University of Chester accommodation. You can stay in private accommodation. But if you are going to stay in private accommodation, you just have to look for it on your own and sort out the contract. So it will be up to you. When we were talking about the cost of living in the UK, when you apply for a visa, you will have to show that you have £9,135 for living expenses. Of course, this money you keep in your own pocket and you decide how you are going to spend it. But when you come to the UK, you can spend much more depending on your lifestyle, or you can spend much less if you want to be more frugal with your money. When I speak to international students at Chester, they tell me that on average, they spend between £500 and £650 per month for accommodation and food and other expenditures. So that's way below what UK government recommends you to have. So that's another important thing about budgeting, that it's not only the tuition fees, but also the cost of living. And of course, studying in the UK is not all about, spending time in the library. It's very important to have some life outside of the class. We have over 130 different societies. This is only a very small selection. Great way of making friends. And great way of actually adding some points to your CV as well. So I always recommend that students join one of the societies when they come to Chester. Very good student support and guidance. We offer free English language classes throughout the course. We have special classes that will help you with your academic work, adjusting to the way things are done in the UK, so that you can avoid plagiarism, so that you can upgrade your math skills or statistical skills if you need that for your research. So lots of different support classes on offer for students. I have already mentioned about the courses, that we have lots of different courses. Of course, business is the one that is most popular, but I think that's a case at any university.
Everyone wants to do business in their lives, to become rich, like the
like you.
Not like I want my students to be bigger than me. So,
yeah,
but it is,
but we have lots of different courses that are very unique. For example, MSc Family and Child Psychology, or MSc Respiratory Medicine, or MSc Gastroenterology. So we have lots of different courses. You can find all of them on the website. And we offer anything from foundation up to PhD level. Nursing, of course, is very popular. But if you are planning to apply for nursing, please bear in mind that you will need to have very good IELTS level of English, because pretty much from the beginning, you will be working with patients in the hospital. So if you are planning to apply for nursing, start improving your English language now. Now, Foundation courses are for students who have poor grade 12 year 12 grades, or who have poor level of English. So if you didn't do well in high school, you will have to spend an extra year in the UK before you join a bachelor degree. Or if your English is not good enough, you will have to spend 1 year extra in the UK, which means additional cost for tuition fees and living expenses. So again, if you are a final year 12 student, go to these books, improve your English, and save your parents some money. But if you don't manage to do it, there is an option of joining the foundation course. The next intake for University of Chester is January, although this is not the main intake. The main intake in the UK is September. For January intake, out of the 300 courses that we offer, we only have 25 courses that we offer. So as you can see, this is the least. And the tuition fees are £12,450 for majority of these courses. And you can get up to £3,000 scholarship. The amount of the scholarship will depend on your CGPA. So if you manage to get £3,000 scholarship, then your tuition fees will be £9,450. And remember that master's degree in the UK is only 1 year in duration, not like in Australia or USA or Canada, where very often you have to study for 2 years. So you are wasting 2 years of your time, 2 years of tuition fees, 2 years of living expenses. So I think that's why so many people decide to come to the UK and study a master's degree. Those of you who do not meet our English language criteria, and they can start their pre-sessional English language classes. And once you improve your English sufficiently, then you join your main course in January. But of course, that means, again, extra payment. So as I said, the main intake in the UK is September. You can see, for example, bachelor degrees. Majority of our bachelor degrees will cost £12,750 per year, and you can get up to £2,000 scholarship per year and £250 full fee payment discount. When you are doing your research about which university is the right one for you, you have to look at the tuition fees, because different universities charge different tuition fees for international students. Let me give you an example. There is no free education in the UK at the university level. Even UK students have to pay £9,250 for each year of their education at any UK university. But if you are a Nepalese student and you want to study, let's say, medicine at the University of Cambridge, you will have to pay 5 times as much as a UK student will pay. So our tuition fees are not that much higher than what we charge UK students. And I think our tuition fees are one of the most affordable in the UK as per UK standards. Our tuition fees for bachelor degrees will stay the same for the duration of your course. So whatever tuition fees you pay in year 1 and whatever scholarships you get in year 1, this is exactly what you will pay in year 2 and year 3. And that makes it easier for your parents to budget and balance their finances when they send you overseas for overseas.
This is a very important thing, because according to my experience working with majority UK universities in terms of scholarships for bachelor degrees, they give the scholarship on year 1 majority. So if the tuition fee is, say, £12,000 and they get £3,000 scholarship, they think they're getting £9,000 per year, but it's not £9,000 per year. It is actually £9,000 on year 1.
Yeah.
And 12,000 in year 2 and 12,000 in year 3. But for Chester, you're saying that they're getting the scholarship, the fixed amount every year. It works out to be cheaper over the entire duration of the course.
It's so important to read the offer letter and the small print whenever you are applying. And that's why it's so important also, I think, to work with agents, because the agent will be able to highlight all these differences, let's say that you have offer letters from 3 or 4 different universities, and then, you know, if the agent knows that you are very particular about the budget, you know, I think a good agent will then highlight to you that, you know, that kind of scenario. So yeah, read always all the information that the university sends you and your offer letter.
The ninth, when you say that it becomes I can see that it can be around 9,250 for postgraduate courses as well, if the majority of the scholarship is offered, right?
Yeah.
So if it becomes 9,000, around 9,000.
Oh, well, for that's for January intake. For a September intake, the tuition fees, of course, will slightly go up. So as you can see, for September intake, the tuition fees for majority of our master's degrees are 12,950. And if you get the maximum scholarship, that will bring your tuition fees to 9,950. Yes, 9,950. And you can get £250 full fee payment discount. So around £10,000 for your tuition fees and around £10,000 for your living expenses. This is what you have to budget for your studies in the UK. At majority of the most affordable universities, I think there are very few options out there who charge less.
Yeah, it's a very competitive and good tuition fee, I would say, because 10,000 is, if someone does enough research on the UK university tuition fees, they will know that this is a reasonable fee.
Yeah, especially when you compare it with the quality of education that you are getting, exactly, with the cost of living as well. So yeah, as I said, you have to look into all of these things. Yeah. Now, when we are receiving applications from students, of course, we'll be looking at your transcripts, but we are also looking at English language and at your level of English. We unfortunately do not accept medium of instructions from Nepal, so we will not be able to waive English language requirement based on the fact that you studied in English. But do not worry, we accept lots of different English language tests. As you can see, the most common is, of course, IELTS. At undergraduate level, we ask for IELTS 6.0 with no element below 5.5. At master's level, we ask for 6.5 with no element below 5.5. Of course, we are accepting also Pearson and TOEFL and IELTS indicator, and we accept all levels English. But what we do as well is our own University of Chester English language test. We started doing these tests around 7 years ago, and every year we test a few hundred of students. So if you take our test and you pass it, you don't need IELTS. So that's something that is very, very popular among students from South Asia, because they count money and they know that they can spend, I don't know, how much is IELTS? £200, something like that.
Approximately, depends on the country they're doing it from. Yeah, in UK terms, whatever we say, it might be different to the people where they're based at. So for some of them, it would be very costly. So yeah. A University of Chester English language test, that's a very important thing to know, because these tests are free and probably they're conducted on Skype, I guess, yeah. Or yeah, so they're all online. I think a lot of my students have appeared the test, and you know, it's exactly like IELTS, but you get it for free. There are 4 components like IELTS: reading, writing, speaking, and listening, all done through online Skype video call. So yeah,
recognized by the Home Office. So very often I do get questions from students, oh, if I take your test and I don't have IELTS, will I get a visa refusal? Please do not worry. We are a public university. We are a highly trusted sponsor, so there is no risk of visa refusal. In fact, the University of Chester in the last cycle had nearly 99% visa success rate. So we are very careful when we select applications, and we will be checking your bank statements. We will be doing genuine intention interviews. So we are very careful about the applications that we accept.
Yeah. And I think English language requirement, I think it's down to the UK universities to decide on the English language capability of the students. I do not think it's a visa requirement. There's no point, I guess, for
but a
IELTS.
lot of students don't know it. So a lot of students think that you need to have IELTS in order to get a UK visa, which is of course not true. So, of course, students ask me very often, can I pay in monthly installments? At the University of Chester, there are really 3 installments. So you pay £3,000 deposit when you decide to accept the offer letter, and then 50% of the tuition fees when you arrive in Chester, and 50% a few months later. In terms of the refund policy, we amended it a few months ago because of COVID. We are trying to be very, very flexible during this uncertain times. So if you apply for a visa and if you get a visa refusal, then we are going to refund all the money that you have paid us. The only instance where we are not going to refund the deposit is if you have used fraudulent documents to apply for visa. But if you apply for visa and, I don't know, you submitted incorrect bank statement, or you missed some of the documents, or for example, you had a genuine intention interview with the visa officer and the visa officer thought that you were not genuine, then we are going to refund the money. And that's why, again, I would like to highlight why we work with agents, because it's an extra pair of eyes on your application. Even small mistake can cause you a visa refusal. So I remember once I had a student who was just few pounds short, because between the time we issued CAS and the time he applied for a visa, the currency fluctuation was so rapid that he was just few pounds below the required amount, and he got visa refusal. Another student didn't really want to use agent services because he felt very confident that he knows what he's doing. And he went to the embassy with copies of his documents, and of course he got a visa refusal. So there are lots of different small things that can go wrong, and that's why I always recommend that students work with agents, good agents.
Good.
Okay, application procedure. You submit your documents to the agent. The agent is going to pre-screen these documents to make sure that they're all okay. And then the agent is going to upload them on our admissions portal. Hopefully, you don't have to wait too long before you get an offer letter from us. You meet all the conditions, and then once you actually have met all the conditions and you decide to accept the offer letter, then you can pay £3,000 deposit. Then we will be organizing genuine intention interview with Nepalese students, where we will be mocking the interview that you may have with the visa office during your visa application. And once you pass that interview, then we'll ask you to see 28 days bank statements. A lot of students at the beginning think, oh, genuine intention interview, oh, another hassle, I don't want to do it. But when they get visa, and especially if they get very harsh interview at the visa stage, then a lot of students, when they arrived in Chester, they were really happy, and they were saying, I'm taking my words back. It was actually very good preparation. I whizzed through the interview. I felt confident. And I think it's better always to be safe than sorry. So do that extra work ahead of your visa interview with us, and then be confident, during the visa interview. And then, of course, once all these steps are completed, you apply for, you get CAS and you apply for visa.
Okay.
Employment prospects. Employment is one of these topics that always comes up when I'm meeting with students. They want to know what kind of return on investment they can get. And we have already discussed at the beginning of this session the 2-year post-study work visa. UK has not had post-study work visa for the past 10 years. So pretty much once you have finished your studies, most of the students had to go back to their home country, but that's not the case anymore. When you complete your studies in the summer of 2021, and beyond, you will be able to apply for a 2-year post-study work visa. That will, give you the chance of staying in the UK and getting that valuable work experience. And then after the 2 years, you can decide what to do next. When you are studying in the UK, I think the work rights are also very, very flexible as compared to other study destinations. You can work on campus, you can work off campus, you can work in Chester, Manchester, Liverpool, and there is hardly any restrictions as to what kind of job you can do. We have uni jobs, which are jobs on campus. A lot of our courses will have a 5-week placement at undergraduate level. Most of postgraduate courses will not have any placements apart from social work, nursing, PGCE. I suppose that's the downside, but with the 2 years post-study work visa, that's not a problem anymore. And one more thing that I would like to highlight that, again, a lot of students do not take into consideration. When you come to the UK, you will be working as a student, most likely in the service industry. So most of our students work in shops, restaurants, hotels, sorting mail, some kind of factories, care homes, and usually these jobs pay the minimum wage. In Nepal, you do not have the concept of minimum wage, from what I understand, but in the UK we do. So a minimum wage is the minimum amount of money that the employer has to pay you. And in the UK, it's somewhere between £6.50 and £8.50 per hour, depending on your age. And as I said, most of the students will be getting minimum wage because the employer thinks, wow, they don't have a family mortgage. It's easy to pay them so little money. And the minimum wage is the same in Chester, and it's the same in London and in any part of the UK. With London being one of the most expensive cities in the world, you may have that part-time job, 20 hours per week, but it will not, will be enough money to cover your living expenses. In Chester, because the cost of living is lower, when you are doing 20 hours per week, then you will be able to offset a big chunk of your living expenses. So that's another thing that you have to, take into consideration if you are on a limited budget. And one piece of advice as an international student, ex-international students to you, would be to make time for extracurricular activities. When you come to the UK, the classes will be, of course, very different to the one you have in Nepal. I think in Nepal, it's a very hectic schedule. Very often you are in the class from Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. There's no time to do anything else outside of the class. In the UK, you will be studying maybe 15 to 20 hours per week at undergraduate level in the class, 2 to 3 days per week at postgraduate level. There is a lot of self-study involved, but because it's self-study, then you can actually do it in the evening and do part-time job in the during the day or the other way around. There is a lot of flexibility for you to do extracurricular activities. Now imagine that you are applying for your job when you apply for post-study work visa, and you have on your CV, well, I have a bachelor degree and nothing else. It's going to be very difficult to get that job, especially if you are competing against, 100 other people. But if you have a bachelor degree on your CV, plus you show that you have been a student ambassador and you have been representing the university at fairs, you have been going to schools, you have been helping us with open days. So you show that you have customer service skills, that you are very confident talking to public, that you have interpersonal skills. If you have been volunteering, for example, with the International Center, you will be learning lots of skills as well, how to deal with multicultural setting. If you have been, for example, a hall warden, then you can show your potential employer that you can manage people, that you are responsible. Hall wardens are like managers of halls of residence. So you have to be trained in first aid, you have to be responsible, you have to sometimes organize events for your hall as well. So it's going to be much easier to get that first job if you have full CV. I have one student who is currently studying at the University of Chester, and she came with one-page CV 1 year ago, and now she's trying to think what to cut out from her CV, because usually CVs should not have more than 2 pages, and she's really struggling because she has done so many things at the University of Chester. So I encourage you to do these things. As you can see, last year around 200 students were working on campus in various departments. We were advertising nearly 6,000 different jobs to students. Around 200 students got Chester Difference Awards, which actually recognized extracurricular activities. This is graduation ceremony, and it's taking place in the city cathedral. If your parents cannot join you, they can watch you on the internet live graduating. And very short video about the city of Chester, because when you are choosing the university, I think it's also important to be happy with the city that you are based in. Some of the cities are really boring, I think, in the UK. They have nothing to offer, in my opinion. So yeah, also watch videos about the city and see whether you find yourself in that city. So this is Chester. So this is the high street where all the tourists and the old town is. Lots of shops, as I said, lots of cafeterias. This is where students find jobs.
Okay.
This is the race course. Lots of students also work at race course. And this is the cathedral where students are graduating. It's 1,000 years old.
1,000?
Yeah.
My goodness.
And as I mentioned, Chester was set up by Roman soldiers when England was invaded by Romans. And this is the zoo. Lots of students find job at the zoo as well.
Lots of history and culture behind Chester. Yeah.
As you know, there is a pub culture in the UK where people go to pubs to eat and to listen to music, and of course clubbing at the weekends.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people live for.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's it. Good.
How was it, Bashar? You told me half an hour. Was it half an hour?
It's actually more than half an hour, but yeah, I think everyone enjoyed, and there was a lot of information that they have gathered, including myself. I didn't know a lot of things which I have learned now. For example, the 1,000 years old. I did not know that. Yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, so I think majority of the things have been covered. We have a few comments. I can see one of them is this. Any scholarship? I think we covered that. I guess.
That's okay. But if any of you have joined us a little bit later, I'm happy to just very quickly answer your questions. Of course, we have scholarships. There is no special application. Whenever you apply, we are going to review your application. We are going to look at your CGPA, at your grades. And based on your percentage, on your grades, we are going to automatically apply different amount of scholarships. So if you are a really good student, you can get the maximum scholarship. At postgraduate level, the maximum scholarship is £3,000. At undergraduate level, £2,000 per year. So £6,000 in total for the whole duration of bachelor's degree. But never look at the amount of the scholarship. Look at the bottom line, because very often, university can give you £5,000 scholarship, but the tuition fees are 25. So really, you would be paying £20,000 for your education. Whilst at Chester, if you get the maximum scholarship, which is only £3,000, but you will be paying 9,250. So always do the maths. And as I said, read the small print.
Good. There's another question. MS Project Management. I'm not sure what the question is. Probably academic entry requirements, or whether we have it in January. Do we have?
When you go to our website, you will be able to see that we have MSc Project Management, but at this moment of time, you cannot apply for a Tier 4 visa for this course. So you would have to come on a short-term study visa and then go back and then come back once again. And this is not very appealing to international students, especially if you want a 2-year post-study work visa. So I know that the department is working as we speak on changing the curriculum so that students can get Tier 4 visa, but I cannot guarantee whether this is going to be available for January intake. The closest course that we have to project management is MSc Engineering Management. So that's on our website, and you will be able to find there the course outline. And if you are interested, contact BWB and they will be able to submit your application.
Good. A lot of people are asking about scholarship. Here is Raj.
Scholarship we can get for MBA, maximum £3,000. Tuition fees for January intake are 12,000 for oh no, we changed the tuition fees recently. I need to go back to my slides to tell you. So for MBA, tuition fees are £12,700 for January intake, and for September 21 intake, 13,250, and you can get a maximum of £3,000 scholarship. So yeah, that's the tuition fee.
Just one question from myself. Is there a May intake in Chester?
We are going to have, for the first time, May intake in May 2021, and it's going to be probably around 6-7 courses related to business. So probably MBA, MSc Management, International Business, Digital Marketing, Finance, etc. Yeah.
Okay. So it's better to have something than nothing. Yeah. It's good news for us that we can have something in May.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. But we haven't finalized the courses yet, so that's why it's not in my presentation.
Yeah. Sharmila, may I know about AABPS awarding body? Do you accept? I think this is an awarding body from the UK. I have seen quite a lot of qualifications from this awarding body. For the questions on entry requirements, if I can share my screen, I think it would be easy. Let me just show. Let me just show quickly so it's helpful for everyone. So if you go to University of Chester's website, you will. Can you see my screen? You can, yeah. Yeah, so if you go to University of Chester's website, there is entry requirement, country-specific one. So for Nepal, you will see what is the requirement in terms of undergraduate and postgraduate degree. So, 3 years bachelor degree from recognized institution, or 4-year bachelor degree or master's degree. So it clearly says what is the entry requirement. If you have specific queries like this one, AAPS, then I suppose it's always better to ask this question to us, and we can ask the admissions team, or you can ask directly to University of Chester's admission team. So both of us can help in regards to that. I do not know the answer at the moment, but
I don't know either. I'm not familiar with this qualification or with this accredited awarding body. So we will.
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it. But it's good to get it checked, so that you can send an email to us and we'll get it checked for you. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Our details are there down below on the screen, so you can send us an email and we'll get it checked. Another thing is the course offerings that you can find out from University of Chester's website, which courses offered in which intakes. So this is an alphabetical course list. So if you go, say, for example, if you want to go for computer science, tells you which intakes are available. So
can I just mention something on this page, Bashir, because actually you made the mistake that many students make.
Okay.
A lot of courses that we offer are not available to the international students. For example, international students cannot study on part-time basis. So if you scroll up, go up to the top of the page.
Oh, you mean, yeah.
Don't go under the study button, because this is where you will find courses which are not available to international students. Always go through the international section and then courses. Yeah.
Okay. And then courses.
Courses, yeah.
Right. Okay. This is something new for me. Right. Okay. And then
learn. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And okay. Right. So it compiles a list of the courses available for international students. Okay. Right. Good.
As you can see, May intake is not even mentioned yet, I think, on that web page, because we are still working on it. But that's okay, because the next intake is January. So let's work towards a successful January intake, and then hopefully by that time we'll have the web page updated about May intake.
Yeah, so you said about 25 or 27 courses available in January, right?
Yes. Yeah, in business, health, education, and computer science.
Yeah, I can see February, and yeah. So yeah, it's easy to check from this link, and you can find out which courses available in February, January, and September.
Yeah, right. And one thing that I would like to mention, when you went to those entry criteria for Nepal, I made them on that web page vague for a reason, because when we get the application, we are looking, of course, at your CGPA. We are looking at your level of English, but I'm also looking way beyond that. I will be looking at your study gaps, at your CV. We will be looking at your finances, if you can afford to study in the UK. Generally, we are looking at everything to make sure that you don't have a chance of getting a visa refusal. So that's why it's so important to first contact the agent, and they're going to pre-screen your application, and you will not be wasting your time submitting application to universities, and then you are getting rejections. So it's much easier just to speak to the agent whether you have any chance of getting offer letters from UK universities.
Right, okay. Yeah, so the next question I can see is there apply for May session? Can they apply now? For May?
Yes, the application portal is open, and actually, it's a really good question, because I should have mentioned that, during my presentation. One of the biggest mistakes that students in Nepal and in other South Asian countries do is that they apply at the last minute, or they apply and they don't really look at their application until last minute. This year, for example, this September intake, we had to finish our intake earlier than expected, because we got too many applications and we knew that we were not able to process them all. And a lot of students who applied in the end of August really were disappointed. And I said, I'm sorry, there is nothing that we can do. There is only 24 hours in a day and 7 days per week. Even if we worked all of that time and didn't sleep and didn't eat, we would not be able to go through all the applications. So it's very important to apply as early as possible.
Okay.
And submit, even if you don't have all the documents, submit it so that your application can slowly go up the queue. And once the admissions team reaches it, you will have at least conditional offer letter in your hand. You cannot do the English language test if you don't have a conditional offer letter from us. A lot of courses which are popular may close earlier, like nursing, like social work, because once they have filled all the places, they will not be looking at any other application. So it's very important to do it as soon as possible.
Okay. We've got a lot of questions coming in. Are there any? How many? Yeah. So here's one. Are there any rules related to years of academic? Yeah, I think Ella has covered that. That it's subjective, I guess, right?
It is, yes. So there's no one size fit all. So I cannot tell you that, oh, 1 year gap is okay, but 5 years gap is not okay. It really will depend on case by case basis. You can have 10 years of work experience, but I can see from your CV that you have been going, every time, up and up and up, and now you are, you have reached your ceiling, and now you need that degree in order to move to the next level. Or you may have been, you may have a 5 year study gap, and out of these 5 years, you only worked for 1 year, and the rest of the time you sat in front of the TV, and then of course then it's not going to be good for your visa interview, and usually I would reject that kind of applications. The same thing is at after year 12. I understand that the way year 12 calendar works is not ideal, because most of the students from Nepal will be applying with at least 1 year study gap, because it's just not enough time after getting year 12 results to apply the same year. So 1 year study gap is perfectly okay. But if you have 5 years of study gap, or maybe 2 years of study gap, and you submit the application and you say, well, I have a 2 year study gap because I spend a lot of time improving my English, and then there is no IELTS certificate to show for it, it's like, this doesn't add up. So when I look at the applications, I have to behave like a little detective. It's all in your own interest as well, because we don't want you to get a visa refusal. And if the story doesn't add up, sometimes, of course, we can call you, we can, clarify stuff. I rely heavily on the input from the agents, such as BWB. So, as I said, there is no one answer to this question. The best thing is speak to BWB, and then we can have a look at your application and tell you whether, we are likely to accept your application.
So we're gonna have MI5 glass on to check if you are a new student.
Well, thanks to this approach, we had 99% visa success rate in the last intake. So, I think this is the gold standard, and we'll be sticking to it.
Fantastic. Next question. How long does it take to get offer letter?
That depends on the time of the year. That depends on which course you are applying for. So at the International Center, we can make decisions for undergraduate courses, for certain postgraduate courses. And as long as we can make that decision within our office, the process is quite quick. Unless it's the summer, or just 2 weeks before the course, the deposit deadline, and then everybody does everything at the last minute. And as I said, sometimes it's impossible to process the application. Certain applications have to go to the department. For example, I cannot make a decision on advanced computer science. I have to send it to the department and then wait for the department to get back to us. Sometimes it takes a few days, sometimes it takes 2 weeks. The most difficult applications are nursing, social work, art therapy, because these are applications where you have to be interviewed by the department, and they don't do interviews every week. They do it every few weeks, once every 2 months. So, this can cause the delay in your application. So hopefully, if you are applying for, one of the courses where we can make the offer letter, that shouldn't be too late. You shouldn't wait too long.
Yeah, so quick decisions on the general courses, unless it needs the faculty attention or interviewing, I guess.
Or postgraduate research or research applications. It's a completely different kettle of fish. With research applications, you have to have your research proposal, and that research proposal is sent to professors within the faculty. And then sometimes you have to wait for 2 to 3 months before you get the decision. So research applications are the longest.
Okay. Next question. 2 years or 18 months masters available? I think he's talking about placement-based courses.
No, and 99.9% of our master's courses are 12 months. There will be certain exemptions such as MA art therapy or social work, which will be 2 years in duration. But as I said, majority of them are 12 months and they have no internships, but you don't need it anymore because of the 2 years post-study work visa.
Post-study work, yeah. So people, a lot of people actually are going for 1-year courses because they can get the PSW quickly, because you never know when this government is going to change their mind.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, better to go for a 1-year course.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I would like to highlight about these internships, when I'm speaking to students about internships, again, small print is not being read. Oh, you get the offer letter with with an internship, but then you find out when you come to the UK that you have to find your own internship. Or that internship is extra, you have to pay extra, or only top 10% of the class gets internship. So there are very few and far between courses where you get a 2-year master's degree with a guaranteed paid internship. I think, I don't know, you will know better, Bashar. Am I correct here, or is my information outdated?
No, you're absolutely correct. You are correct. Yeah. So many questions coming in. I don't know which one to show.
Let's show all of them. I have time.
Okay, good. UK VI IELTS mandatory to take? I guess yes. What do you think?
No. Now another thing that you have to get updated on, Bashar. So before COVID, we used to run pre-sessional English language classes in the UK. So you would have to come to the UK to do pre-sessional. And when that was the case, of course, you had to have IELTS UK VI. But now we are doing our pre-sessional courses online. And because it's online, you don't need to apply for visa. So we accept all the English language tests that were mentioned in my slide, as well as you can take University of Chester English language test. And if you fail that English language test, because let's say that you need to have IELTS 6.5, but you got 6, then you can attend our 5 weeks pre-sessional online course. And upon successful completion of that course, we are going then remove that English language condition from your offer letter, and you can join your main course.
Right. So the UK VIS is not necessary for pre-sessional because it's online, and there is no physical pre-sessional running at the moment.
No, not at the moment. I think that would be too risky for many students because the situation is so unstable at this moment of time. So we decided that it's going to be much more comfortable for students to actually, stay at home and do it. As you know, the situation in the UK changes on a regular basis, like it changes all over the world on a regular basis. And at this moment of time, maybe we can have a certain amount of people per square meter. But what if tomorrow the government changes it and they say, that you cannot have, you can only have, 2 people, on 20 square meters, then it would be very difficult for us to run those English language classes. So probably we would have moved to online anyway, even if you were in the UK. So you may as well save yourself money on the cost of living and do it from home. And the English language classes, they will be on platform like this, where you can see all your classmates. So I think that you will not be missing out on too much. Of course, it's not the same experience, I understand. But at least you don't need IELTS for UK VI, and at least you don't have to pay for the cost of accommodation. So it's going to be slightly cheaper.
At the same time, we all have to understand that this COVID is a new thing, and we didn't have this in place before. So we're just trying to adapt to the situation. So it's not something we're going to continue, I guess. But at the moment, this is the situation.
Yes, for January intake, our pre-sessional is online. So no IELTS for UK VI required for January intake. You can take our test.
Good. Next question. What kinds of part-time jobs can we get in the UK?
In the UK, you can work 20 hours per week during term time. and full-time during holidays, as long as you are studying above level 3. So let's say that you are coming for bachelor degree or master's degree. This is the time allowance that you get, the work allowance that you get. Most of the students that I know have been working in shops, restaurants, hotels, post office, factories, care homes, all the entertainment industries such as zoos and concert halls and race courses. So service industry. I think these are the kind of jobs that realistically, you will be doing when you come to the UK.
Right. I think this one we covered already about the gap. So moving on to the next one. What are the differences between 3-year bachelor degree and 4-year bachelor degree in the UK?
Okay, yeah, at the University of Chester, probably 90% of our bachelor degrees are 3 years in duration. And I would say generally, bachelor's degrees in the UK, my husband came home, I have to close the door. Sorry, again, he's going to be making noise. So most of the bachelor degrees are 3 years in duration. But we have probably around 10 to 15 different bachelor degrees, which are 4 years, and they include 1-year placement. So I will share my screen with you this time. And let me just see. Right. Okay. So let's go to chester.ac.uk. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so international, I said we always go to the international section, then courses, and then undergraduate courses. And let's start, I think, with accounting and finance. So when you go to the web page, you will be able to see that it's a 3-year course. But if you want a placement year, then it changes to 4 years. So the way it works is that you do 2 years at the university, year 1, year 2. Year 3, you are going out to do your work placement. Year 4, you are coming back to the university and you complete your degree. And that was a great option when we didn't have post-study work visa. But again, the placement was not guaranteed. The student had to find that placement himself or herself. It could have been done anywhere in the UK. So England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, paid or unpaid. But yeah, the catch was that you had to find the placement yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So usually 4-year degrees are with placement.
Right. Yeah. Sandwich here.
Sandwich here. Yeah.
Okay. Weird question. I don't know, PR. We don't advise on PR, but
no, we are not an immigration consultancy. We are talking about education here, not PR. Sorry.
Yeah, the same question here. So yeah, that will be a little late to get my transcript. Can I get the unconditional offer?
Unconditional offer is given to students who met all the criteria. So you must submit all the required documents. And usually these documents consist of application form, statement of purpose, English language, either IELTS or you have to pass our English language test, copy of your passport, copy of your transcripts, academic reference, work reference, if applicable. So you can only get unconditional offer letter if you have transcripts. Until you supply us your final transcripts, you are going to have a conditional offer letter on providing us with your final transcripts. But that shouldn't stop you from applying. You can apply now. And then once you get the transcripts, you just send us, and then the process is much quicker. Rather than waiting then to submit all the documents and us to process it, start everything from the beginning. I think even though you don't have the transcript, submit your application now.
Yeah, okay. But unconditional wouldn't probably come without the transcript, yeah. But it's always good to apply because it's taking a lot of time for the university to make a decision as well, or issue an offer letter. So that will
Yeah.
save the time. Make the applications, and then you can do the other things like collection of the transcript or anything else that you're currently missing.
Yeah, and also even today I spoke to one of the students who called me, and she submitted application probably around August time or September, and she was asking where her application is at the moment. And I told her, well, we have just completed October intake. We are now looking at January intake. So, probably, you will have to wait a little bit longer for your offer letter. But then I very quickly pre-screened her application, and there were at least 2 very important documents missing for us to be able to make a decision. So let me give you an example. This girl has studied in the UK. We will not be able to issue a conditional offer letter without seeing a copy of her CAS and a copy of her BRP. And of course, if you submit your application, so now she has time to correct all these mistakes and, submit the documents, and you can go back and forth, back and forth. Oh, you need this, this is not correct, submit this. When you submit your application at the last stage, then you are risking that we will not have time to go back and forth if the documents are missing. And also, she has applied without the agent. That's why she didn't know.
That's the thing. Normally, we tell everyone to submit at least the basic documents that will be required to be issued with an offer letter. Now,
Yeah.
the students, they do it by themselves. They don't know these things. That's where the importance is of using an agent.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think we wanted to do this session for 1 hour, but because of the high volume of comments and questions coming in, it's dragging us longer than usual. So I think we have to wrap up. We've got more comments as well. I think we should finish off. I can show one more, and let's stop here because otherwise they will keep on coming.
I suppose one topic that we haven't covered is COVID, and I don't know.
We will. Let me just finish this comment, and then we will cover COVID. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the last question we're covering. Are there any special scholarships for Nepalese students at Chester? Any priority?
No, so sorry. All the students that apply, we have up to £2,000 per year at undergraduate level, up to £3,000 at postgraduate level. But if you are an outstanding student with 2 years of work experience and great CV, then chevening scholarships are still open. So you can apply for fully funded chevening scholarships, which are offered by the UK government. This is for a master's degree. And every year we welcome a number of chevening scholars at the University of Chester. But let's be honest, because these scholarships are fully funded, they are very competitive. So you have to have great CGPA, great CV, great work experience, show your leadership skills, great IELTS. So if you are an outstanding candidate who wants to study masters, you can always look at chevening scholarships.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of comments. Actually, if you guys have more questions, you can contact us after this Facebook Live session. The numbers are there. The email address is displayed as well. So feel free to ask your question through there, because we have to end this session at some point. So we cannot just keep on taking on questions. But it's a very good experience that we're getting a lot of questions. So they're interested about Chester, Ela.
I'm really happy. I'm so happy that so many of you have joined. I wish we could, go on and on and on, because there are so many different aspects to studying in the UK. One quick thing about COVID. Although I'm working from home, this is only because I came back from Poland recently, so I have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. But the university operates as normal at this moment of time. And a lot of students are worried, what is it going to be like? We have updated our refund policies. We are doing blended learning teaching, which means that some of the classes are online, some of the classes are face-to-face. until you get your visa and you sort out your travel arrangements, you can study 100% online. We offer self-isolation packages, and we are trying to support you as much as we can, during these difficult times. So life goes on as normal. The campus is open, and I hope that many of you will consider January intake as long as the NOCs are issued and visa office is open.
They are open. In fact, people are coming from Nepal. I had two students coming from Nepal last week. They are in the UK now, so it's all coming back to normal. And I guess things, unless something radical happens again, that there is a second wave and big wave, which some of the countries are experiencing. Fingers crossed, but things are coming back to normal. UK is open to international students. We get we're getting regular feedbacks that the airports, they're having longer queues from our existing students coming in. They're sharing their experience. So UK is back to normal. So apply and come.
Yeah, and you can actually find on our website, there is a whole page prepared by the university, what kind of steps we have taken in order to prevent COVID on our campuses, what kind of measures we have in place in terms of sanitation, in terms of social distancing, etc., etc. So I think, just do your research, and if you feel comfortable, joining us at this time of year in the next few months, I think, apply now. If, for example, the situation really gets uncomfortable for you and you don't feel like coming in January, remember that you can always defer to the next available intake, September. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah, I guess, that's
May.
Yeah.
May is the next intake.
We've covered COVID as well, and we covered majority of things we wanted to cover. So as mentioned, people who missed out on some parts, they can still contact us. The email address is there. The Nepal office number is there. Our UK office number is here. And you can see down below our global branches and contact details of them. So feel free to reach out to us, and we'll try to help. And it was a pleasure having Ela today. And we've learned a lot. Students have learned a lot. I myself have learned a lot.
Will this video be available on your Facebook, or can they join later? Can they watch it?
Yeah, it would. It's currently live, and then obviously it will remain there. So students can come back and watch the video if they want. It will be there. Yeah, it was a very effective and fruitful session. So hope it is helpful to everyone, and all the best to the students who want to come to UK. UK is back to normal, so you are welcome.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it will be the greatest adventure of your lives. This is from me, an ex-international student in the UK. I would have never changed my decision. It was such a life-changing event for me to come to the UK and study.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, everyone. And we're going to end this broadcast now. It will be available on our Facebook page, so you can come back and watch it again. Once again, thank you. We enjoyed the session very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye now.